What's happening, YouTube? Welcome, and I'm LiboATM as always, and welcome to another Shrine of Secrets discussion. If you've not watched these videos before, every week when they put up the new shrine, I make a video, talk about all the perks on the shrine, and discuss whether any of them are worth your hard-earned shards. So, pretty basic concept. So, as always, we'll jump right in. It's not the worst shrine this week. Couple of good ones, definitely a couple of good ones. So, as always, we'll start off at the top here. So we've got Beast of Prey. So this grants you the undetectable status effect after gaining Bloodlust Tier 1. The status effect is removed when you lose Bloodlust. Gain 30% more blood points in the Hunter category. So this perk is dookie. In the nicest possible way. It's not a good perk. I don't like it. I can't understand when you would ever get benefit from it. Because like most things that give you some sort of benefit in chase kind of suck. There's the one thing I think that really struggles with the killer department is that when you get some sort of added benefit when you're in chase, they all kind of suck. Like Bloodlust is enough of a bonus that probably shouldn't be there to begin with, that you get anyway, so you probably don't need to touch it with perks. But becoming undetectable while you're in Bloodlust Tier 1 is kind of pointless. Because again, 90% of the time if you're in a chase with someone, they know you're in a chase with them. The only time you'll maybe get value out of it is in one of two specific scenarios. Is A, if someone doesn't think you're running Beast of Prey and you catch someone off guard once and then everyone knows you're running Beast of Prey, so it doesn't happen again. Or B, if you're chasing someone and notice a survivor working on a gen or something nearby, you can kind of peel off and maybe get a surprise hit on them before you lose the chase and lose your undetectable status effect. But again, two very, very low probabilities. It doesn't even fall into the category of if I think this is a good perk for beginners. I just don't think it's a good perk. It's not well designed. Like most of Huntress's perks, they're not great. So unfortunately, it's not the best perk. So we'll move on to Corrupt Intervention, which is a plague teachable. So basically, I'm not going to read the whole spiel, but basically at the start of the trial, for X amount of seconds, you block three generators which are furthest away from you in the map. So that means survivors can't work on them. They're covered by the entity claw things, and they remain that way for X amount of seconds. This is an incredible perk. If you've played Survivor at any point in your life, you'll probably came up against Corrupt Intervention. It's such a good perk for killers. It helps killers, especially killers that have a really weak early game, or have or kind of slower moving killers that have a very specific power. It helps funnel survivors towards you. Because as I said, it blocks the three furthest generators from you, but that's usually where most survivors spawn. So basically what you're wanting to do then is they either then have to come into the map where you are, or they need to sit and do nothing for X amount of seconds, like 90 seconds or something. Which gives you time to then find and down people when nobody's working on generators, and best case scenario you can get a couple of downs and hooks before those generators are unblocked. And then the other one, if you're funneling them into the map, then you're going to find people early, and that's going to really help you. I was going to list the killers that will help you with it. There's virtually zero killers it doesn't help you with, to be honest. The only one I probably wouldn't run Corrupt Intervention on, and it's just a personal thing, would be Trapper, is because if I'm setting up a 3-gen area, I don't want people funneled to where I am, because I don't want to see them. I don't want them to see me setting up traps in an area, so that they can either work gens in that area or disarm the traps. So like that maybe, but like anyone else, so like any of the slower killers, so Huntress it's excellent because you can funnel people towards you, you can hit them with hatchets. Myers you can funnel people towards you and get stocks off. Plague you can funnel people towards you, get them sick. You know what I mean? Like you can find a benefit for virtually every single killer. And the worst part for a lot of killers is the early game. Like, if you're not running any kind of regression perks or anything to help you out in the early game, you probably will lose one or two gens before you start snowballing. So the longer you can prolong that, the better chance you have of winning that match. So this is just an excellent perk. You don't need to pair it with anything. It's a standalone, just excellent perk. You can just slap this virtually on any build for virtually any killer, and you'll get value out of it. It's an incredibly, incredibly good perk. The next perk is For the People, which is arena teachable. Again, not going to read the whole spiel, but basically, when you press the active ability button when healing other survivors without a medkit, you instantly heal them from dying to injured or injured to healthy. You then become broken for X amount of seconds, and then become the obsession. Equipping the perk decreases your chance to be the killer's obsession at the start of a trial. So basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. So if someone's injured or someone's just been unhooked, you can use your active ability button when healing them. It'll instantly heal them back to full health, and it'll leave you broken. So if someone is being actively tunneled, you can use this to like get them full health and gain them a health state, so that you can buy them some time. It's another one that's pretty good for, especially at red ranks, is if you're playing a killer that likes to slug a lot, you can use it to pick people up like instantly. So if someone's slugged on the ground and they're committed to an arcane, you can go pop away the people, get them off the ground, and you're away, sort of thing. So it's basically a perk that buys you time, buys you a health state, buys you time, but you need to be very careful when you use it, because as it says, you're broken for X amount of seconds. I think at tier 3 it's 90 seconds, maybe 90 seconds, but still it's an awful long time to not be able to heal. And especially if you've got, say, someone is being chased by the killer, you just pick someone off the ground who then is injured, and you're broken. Like, that's 3 people who are potentially could go down, and the game could go snowball in a really bad way. So you want to be very careful when you use this. I think it's an okay perk. Again, it doesn't really need paired with anything. You don't really get any kind of benefit from pairing it with anything. It's okay. It can be quite good if you're playing in a Swift. It can be quite good if you're solo queuing and someone is getting kind of the rough end of the deal. I don't run it often. It's got to be said, like, it's not one that I kind of go to and go, oh, I need to stick For the People on. But I think it's good. I think it's I would say it's in an okay tier. Like, if I was going to make a tier list, it would probably low B, C tier, I think, for the People. Like, you can definitely get value out of it, but the downside, I don't know if it outweighs the good side, if that makes sense. And the last perk on the shrine this week is a Feng Min teachable, which is Life, which is when you perform a rushed vault, you then break into a sprint at 150% normal run speed for 3 seconds, and then you become exhausted for 60 seconds, it says there. So basically this is your bog standard exhaustion perk, but you get the benefit when you vault a pallet or a window. Yeah, there's not really a lot to say about exhaustion perks. They are what they are. They're second chance perks. They're chase perks. That sort of stuff. They're there to give you an advantage at a time where you could possibly be guaranteed dead. The sprint speed, especially if you've got it, like, this is one that I think you don't usually need to pair an exhaustion perk with anything to get value, but I think you can pair Lithe with things to get value. Like, for example, like Dance With Me, you could pair it with that, which kind of leaves you no scratch marks after you vault the window. So if you're playing against a killer who's maybe not the best at tracking, you can go through the window, speed away, and your scratch marks are concealed. If you've just been hit before you vault the window, you could be running Lucky Break, and again you can make it away, like that sort of stuff. So you can pair it with other things to make it more effective. I don't think you physically have to. You can just run it on its own. But if you could pair it with other things to kind of make it stronger. It's a really good perk. It's probably on my list of like favorites. It's up there with one of my favorite exhaustion perks. I just think I think it's better than Sprint Burst, but not as good as like Dead Hard, if that makes sense. So I think it's better than Sprint Burst because you don't automatically lose it. Like, if your Sprint Burst is fully recharged and you just run anywhere, you use all your Sprint Burst. Whereas this, you're kind of in control of when you use it. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, but I just like the fact that you have the element of control of when you're able to use that perk. And I think that kind of puts it above Sprint Burst for me and a few of the others. But it's definitely a really good perk. Okay, guys, that's another Shrine discussion in the books. As always, I do my recommendation of one killer, one survivor perk for you to prioritise. Definitely for the killer, it's Corrupt Intervention. Do not go anywhere near this with any form of barge pulls. So corrupt intervention for the killer, life for the survivor, and overall, if you only have enough to buy one, I'd go corrupt intervention. It is an incredible perk. Also, something to keep an eye on is day of release for this video. Part 3 of Tome 7 is released, and they have been following the Plague as the killer. So I would be very surprised if there is not a corrupt intervention challenge buried within that tome. So yeah, that would be my recommendations. As always, guys, I have been LiboATM. Thank you for stopping by and watching the video. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please go back and watch all my other videos. As a newer content creator, it really helps me out with algorithms and get me up directories and things like that. And it's always much appreciated. Come check me out on Twitch. I stream there a couple of times a week, which is twitch.tv/LiboATM. And until I see you guys next time, peace.